Captain Joe guided his fishing boat across the calm waters of Lake Tahoe, helping wealthy clients enjoy a peaceful day catching trout. To them, he was just another experienced guide who knew the best fishing spots. But Joe's expertise with boats and water came from 22 years as a Navy SEAL conducting underwater missions in hostile waters. And when armed kidnappers took his clients hostage on a remote island, those combat skills would turn a fishing trip into the most dangerous rescue operation of his career. Welcome to Hidden Warriors. Tell me in the comments what city you're watching from today. And if stories like this prove heroes navigate more than just fishing waters, hit that subscribe button. Lake Tahoe stretched across the California-Nevada border, offering some of the finest freshwater fishing in North America. Captain Joe Miller had been operating Miller's fishing charters for 12 years, guiding wealthy clients and vacation families to the lake's best fishing locations with a reputation for safety, expertise, and guaranteed results. Joe's clients appreciated his calm professionalism, extensive knowledge of lake conditions, and ability to find fish when other guides came back empty-handed. His boat was immaculately maintained, his equipment top quality, and his weather prediction skills kept everyone safe during sudden mountain storms. His background showed former Navy logistics specialist who had transitioned to civilian fishing guide work after completing military service. Clean boating license, excellent safety record, and the kind of steady reliability that made him the preferred guide for high-profile clients who valued discretion and professional service. But Joe's real identity was Commander Joe Miller, former Navy SEAL Team 6 member who had spent 22 years conducting classified underwater operations in hostile waters around the world. His specialty was maritime counterterrorism, silent approach missions where SEALs used water as cover for eliminating threats and rescuing hostages. His fishing guide career wasn't retirement, it was perfect cover for continued security work. Intelligence agencies needed experienced maritime operatives positioned at locations where wealthy individuals gathered in isolated settings with minimal security protection, particularly around bodies of water that could facilitate escape routes for criminals. For 12 years, Joe had used his fishing guide business to conduct discreet security assessments of high-value clients while providing legitimate recreational services that genuinely enhanced their vacation experiences and built the trust necessary for effective protection operations. Commander Joe Miller had joined Navy SEAL Team 6 in 1985, specializing in underwater infiltration and maritime hostage rescue operations. His training combined advanced combat diving with sophisticated tactics for approaching targets using water-based cover that traditional security measures couldn't detect or counter. During his SEAL career, Joe had participated in classified operations throughout the Mediterranean, Caribbean, and Pacific regions, where his role was eliminating waterborne threats and rescuing hostages from locations accessible only by water approach. His expertise was silent underwater movement and precision operations in aquatic environments. Joe's most significant operations involved rescuing high-value targets from hostile forces who used islands, boats, or waterfront locations specifically because they believed water provided natural security barriers that would prevent rescue attempts by traditional military forces. After SEAL service, Joe worked with federal maritime security teams that provided protection for government officials and business leaders during recreational activities on lakes, rivers, and coastal waters where standard security protocols were insufficient or inappropriate for civilian settings. His fishing guide position provided ideal cover for ongoing protective operations. Legitimate reason to operate boats in areas where wealthy clients might be vulnerable, professional knowledge of local water conditions and navigation, and established relationships with clients who trusted his expertise and judgment during recreational activities. During a routine fishing charter with 3 wealthy clients, a tech executive, a federal judge, and a defense contractor, Joe noticed unusual boat activity near the remote Emerald Island fishing spot. Multiple vessels were positioned in tactical formation rather than random recreational patterns, and their occupants showed military-style coordination rather than casual lake usage. Joe's SEAL training recognized the positioning as preliminary to coordinated assault rather than coincidental boating activity. The boats were establishing perimeter control around the island, while additional personnel moved into concealed positions on shore, indicating professional kidnapping operation rather than random criminal activity. When armed operatives simultaneously approached from multiple directions, Joe realized his clients were targets of sophisticated kidnapping operation designed to capture high-value individuals in isolated location, where rescue would be impossible and ransom demands could be made without immediate law enforcement interference. The kidnappers demonstrated advanced tactical training using radio coordination and movement patterns that indicated military or intelligence backgrounds. Their equipment included automatic weapons, communication gear, and water-based transportation that showed extensive planning and professional execution capabilities. Joe's immediate assessment was that traditional law enforcement response would be impossible given the remote location, and any rescue attempt by unprepared personnel would likely result in hostage execution rather than successful resolution. The kidnappers had chosen their location specifically to prevent conventional rescue operations. But the kidnappers had made critical mistake. They assumed their water-based operation provided security against rescue attempts, not knowing that their fishing guide was actually one of the world's most experienced underwater combat specialists with 22 years of maritime rescue operations experience. Joe's response drew on 2 decades of SEAL experience conducting hostage rescues in aquatic environments where traditional tactical approaches were impossible. His fishing boat contained equipment that appeared recreational but could support advanced underwater operations, and his knowledge of Lake Tahoe's underwater terrain provided tactical advantages the kidnappers couldn't anticipate. His first priority was gathering intelligence about kidnapper positions and hostage locations using underwater reconnaissance techniques that allowed him to approach the island undetected while the kidnappers focused on securing their perimeter against surface-based threats they expected from law enforcement. Joe used his fishing equipment as cover for deploying underwater surveillance gear that provided real-time intelligence about kidnapper movements and weapons placement while appearing to be normal fishing activity to anyone observing his boat from a distance. Most importantly, Joe's SEAL training allowed him to approach the island underwater using techniques that rendered him completely invisible to kidnappers who were monitoring surface approaches but had no capability to detect underwater infiltration by someone with his specialized training and equipment. Joe's underwater approach allowed him to eliminate perimeter guards silently before moving to hostage locations where his combat experience enabled him to neutralize remaining kidnappers while ensuring client safety during what appeared to be a fishing trip that had simply been interrupted by criminal activity. The rescue operation was completed using techniques that left no evidence of Joe's military capabilities, allowing him to maintain his fishing guide cover while ensuring that his clients remained unaware of the sophisticated nature of both the threat they had faced and the expertise that had saved their lives. By evening, all kidnappers were in custody, the clients were safe, and the fishing trip continued as planned, with everyone believing they had simply encountered criminals who had been apprehended by law enforcement responding to Joe's emergency call for assistance. Official reports attributed the successful rescue to excellent cooperation between local law enforcement and an experienced fishing guide who had provided valuable intelligence about kidnapper locations and assisted with coordination during the operation. Joe's role in the actual rescue remained classified, his fishing guide cover maintained perfectly, with clients recommending his services to friends who appreciated both his fishing expertise and his calm professionalism during the emergency situation. 3 months after the incident, Joe received discreet commendation from federal agencies responsible for protecting high-value civilians during recreational activities. His success had demonstrated the value of positioning experienced maritime operatives in locations where wealthy individuals engaged in water-based recreation with minimal security. Joe's fishing charter business expanded with enhanced equipment and broader mission parameters, allowing him to provide more comprehensive protection for clients who remained unaware that their recreational activities included professional security services disguised as outdoor expertise. 6 months later, Joe was approached by other former military personnel who had been recruited for similar protective roles at recreational venues nationwide. Fishing guides, boat captains, and marina operators, whose backgrounds included specialized training for protecting civilians during leisure activities. Have you ever wondered about the fishing guides whose expertise extends far beyond finding the best spots to catch fish? The people whose knowledge of water and boats serves purposes more important than recreation. Share your thoughts about hidden protectors. Subscribe to Hidden Warriors for more stories of ordinary outdoor professionals whose extraordinary backgrounds continue keeping us safe during our most relaxed and vulnerable moments. Some guardians wear uniforms, others wear fishing gear, and carry more than just tackle boxes. Next time you hire a fishing guide for a peaceful day on the water, remember that they might be navigating more than just fishing spots. They might be watching for threats that never surface.